Okay, if this video doesn't work, I swear to God, I'm gonna go outside and like lay down in the middle of the street because I swear I've been sitting here for the last like 40 minutes. I keep recording videos on TikTok and I try to get them published and then they don't publish. I don't know if it's because my other phone is full. This phone, it doesn't have a SIM card. I just use it like iPod Touch or something like that. Remember those? Those are so fun. This phone though has a little more space, so I don't know if it's that TikTok has to download the phone onto my device before it uploads it, but like it's not doing it. So let's try this again, and I'm gonna try to talk quickly because I'm tired of recounting this event over and over and over again. I'd like for this to be done. So I'm sorry. I'm frustrated a bit because of my morning, and I'm frustrated a bit because TikTok won't let me get my message out there. So here we are. Here we are. Let's go. I'm tired of the lack of consideration of our fellow man. I'm tired of people constantly not considering others. It bothers me so much. It could be something little, from people putting their feet on chairs at public transit, people making messes in public and not cleaning it up, people coughing out loud because they can and not covering their mouth, and then the rest of us kind of just have to stand by sweetly and just let you do it. And, or something even more serious, like what happens to me today. So I go to a community center near my house, and that community center has a pool, and they have a lot of hours that work really well with my schedule. And so what I like to do is I like to swim. I love it. It's one of my greatest passions in life right now. And what frustrates me, unfortunately, is that there's a lot of people who are okay with violating other people's safety and other people's privacy, and namely in the form of using their cell phones in the change room. I'm sick of it, I'm tired of it, and I need it to stop. And I've made several complaints to the front desk. I've complained to people in person who've done it. I try to be very nice and say cell phones are not allowed in here. And then, of course, everybody wants to give me stank face, like I'm the one who did something wrong. And I'm like, dude, you're the one who's violating my privacy by bringing your cell phone that can capture video, audio, photos, and I'm telling you that's making me uncomfortable, and you want to treat me like a redheaded stepchild. That's not okay. I'm not cool with that. Everybody wants to act like I'm this big bully because I'm walking up to them and telling them that they need to put their cell phones away. And I try my best to be as nice as possible, but I'm frustrated because it happens all the time at this pool. And I know you guys are thinking, well, why don't you just go to a different pool? Some days I do. But this pool is the closest one to my house. And so if I have a day where I'm working from home, I'd rather take a bus up to a pool that takes 10 minutes to and from to get to, rather than going and commuting like a whole hour away from my house just to swim and then an hour to come back. That takes a lot more time out of my schedule, and that takes a lot more planning than a pool that's just down the street. You know what I mean? So anyway, this morning, so I went to the pool this morning. I made a beeline for the cubicles like I always do because I don't trust people anymore and changing around them. Trust me, I have stopped people from taking selfies in the change room while they're aiming with people in the background. I have stopped a woman from video chatting her husband in the change rooms. Okay, it is nuts. It is insane, the behavior that happens in these change rooms. And it's like every week it's something. Anyway, so this morning I made a beeline for the change room, right? I went in there, I changed my clothes really quickly, and then I was coming out. As I was coming out, I noticed this older woman, Latina, maybe 60 years old, with a walker. And she has two different levels on her walker. The first level has her bag, the second level has her phone and some other stuff. And I noticed she's on this very loud call. And at first I said, you know what, let me just ignore her because I'm already fully dressed. I don't see anybody else really in the change room. Let me just make a beeline for the shower and the pool. So I did that. As I'm coming back, I'm trying to get into the shower because obviously I want to get all the chemicals off of me so I can wash myself and quickly head to a class that I had signed up for. Of course, Miss Lady is back and she has her cell phone out, and her cell phone is on an active live call. And so I noticed her going back and forth from the shower area. So I stopped her and I said, hi there. I said, cell phones actually aren't allowed in the change room. And she goes, oh, I'm not texting or taking, I'm sorry. She said, I'm not taking videos or taking photos. Because there's a sign now, because I've complained so many times, there's a sign now at the front that says don't take videos and no taking photos. But of course now people think, oh, well, cell phones are still allowed. We just can't do those things. No, the rule for Toronto Parks and Recreation is no phones in change rooms, no phones in bathrooms. That is the rule. And of course people don't listen to that. The only time I've made an exception for that is when this one lady forgot the combination for her locker, and she was locked out, and so she needed her stuff for her and her kid, and so she needed to call somebody to get some help to help her figure out the combination. So she asked if she could use my phone, and I lent it to her. Because in that case, I felt like that was a legitimate reason why somebody needed to have a phone in the change room. You need to be able to get the combination, and you need to be able to test it in real time to make sure the combination works. And you can't leave your kid and go outside. So I get that, right? So anyway, so after I spoke to her and said this, I said, hey, and she's like, oh, I'm not taking pictures, I'm not taking video, da 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 da. I said to her, well, it's still a risk, so I'd appreciate it if you didn't use your phone in here, or something to that effect. And so she cuts off the call, which I appreciate, and then she leaves her cell phone in the walker, in plain sight, unlocked, in her walker, and then heads back into the shower. And so I'm thinking, okay, do I want to confront her a second time about her cell phone because it's still out? I can see it. I can see it's unlocked. Or I said to myself, you know what? I don't want to confront her 2 times. I don't want to be a bully about this. I said, let me just stay back and let me just wait until she's out of the shower, and then I can go in and shower, because I don't want to shower anywhere near a phone in plain sight. So I waited about 5-10 minutes. She's taking her own sweet time. So I said, you know what, I need to get to my class. I can't do this. So I said to myself, okay, let me quickly try and run over to the other change room. There's 2 change rooms at this pool. There's a public change room, which I prefer because they have cubicles you can change in. And then there's a private change room, which doesn't have those cubicles. And so I ran over to the premium change room. And thankfully there was nobody in the shower area. So I quickly went, showered myself. I don't shower naked there. I usually keep on my undergarments because I've just had too many instances at this pool. I'm not interested in potentially being naked and vulnerable in the pool. I'm not interested. So I quickly went over to the changing area to try and change my clothes. I noticed a brown lady walked in, maybe 40, 50. And I just had a feeling she's going to take out her cell phone. I took a look at her. Nothing was happening. So I said, okay, let me just go and change my clothes. I look at her a second time. Of course, she's sitting there right across from me with her phone out. Now, was she taking video? Was she taking photos? Probably not. But the fact that, like, you have somebody right across from you, 2 steps away from you, who's standing there in a towel and underwear, and you thought it was an appropriate time to pull out your cell phone, mad weird energy. So I saw her and I said, you know what, I don't have time to confront her right now. I need to get going, and I do not want to have a cell phone out while I'm trying to change my clothes. So I quickly grabbed all my stuff and I started running into the deeper part of the change room. So there's kind of multiple parts of the change room. There's the changing area with the lockers, there's the washrooms, there's the shower area, and then there's the sauna. And so I raced towards the shower area, and as soon as I get to the shower area, there are 2 white women, maybe in their 60s, standing there together, and they're naked in the shower, and the 2 of them are huddled over a cell phone. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Everywhere I go, there's a cell phone. I'm like, you know what? I just made a beeline for the sauna. Thankfully, nobody was using their phone in the sauna, and I quickly went and changed my clothes, and I got to class. And I got there 10 minutes late because, of course, navigating around all these people was such a fun experience. But I'm frustrated. I'm really frustrated because I've noticed that in Canada, it doesn't feel like home to me. It feels like I'm living here, but it doesn't feel like home. And I think one of the main reasons it doesn't feel like home is because nobody cares about each other here. And, I wish I could say that even family is different. It's not. People don't care about each other. They don't. People just do whatever they want, and you're expected to just deal with it and accept it and work with it for the sake of having a relationship. It's crazy to me how I'll see people graffiti all over the place, people sticking gum all over the place, people putting their feet up all over the place, people using cell phones in change rooms, people smoking all over the place, people letting their dogs poo and pee all over the place. And it's like, if something is not explicitly illegal with a harsh deterrent like a fine or several years in jail, people will just do whatever they want. People coughing without covering their mouth, not washing their hands when they go around the place, and of course touching up everything and everyone. And you're just supposed to deal with it because everybody's free to do whatever they want. And I don't want it anymore. Like, I love living, otherwise I'd want to get off this planet, but I don't know what to do. And I don't know where to go from here. But I'm really frustrated with the world that we have today. And I wish something could be done about it. Truly. I'm so frustrated. I don't even know what to say at this point. That's all.